Hey friends, it's Alana Newman with the Speaker Salon, and this video is going to teach you about knowing your audience. And as a first step, the most important thing you can do in building a brand is to first identify who it is that you want to work with. Otherwise, you're going to burn out and it's not going to work long term. And so before you put all the effort into Photoshop and artwork and copy, you really need to nail down who it is that you want to serve first, because that'll propel you as you go along. Okay, so the crucial first step in branding is knowing your audience. So imagine launching a brand without knowing who it's for. It is going to confuse you. It's going to confuse the people showing up on your domain, your social media. You have to understand who you want to work with. So it took me a long time to realize that I want to work with speakers. I want to work with smart people, people who have really intelligent things to say at conferences, and they're making the world a better place, and that's who I want to serve. So the name Speaker Salon is a reflection of me meditating for a long time about who I want to work with. Okay, so what does that mean for you? Who is that person for you? So your target audience will shape the colors you pick, the words you choose, the textures, the whole ambiance is going to be impacted based off of the profile of your ideal customer. So this is paramount. Without clarity on your audience, everything's disjointed. Everything. And it's a waste of time. So Steve Jobs said, you've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. So you have to understand who your customer is and what they care about, and then build from there. So you start with your audience's needs, and then you build a product that that person would want. Get it? Okay, so some brands that you might be aware of that do this is Nike. So originally Nike, they were only targeting athletes. And that was their audience. It was just the athletes. But they eventually realized that people who aspire to be athletic also is their audience. So by understanding their audience's aspirations, Nike crafted all these incredible messages like just do it, and it resonated with the broader audience, which is people who aspire to be athletic too. That was really, really smart on their part, and obviously they're one of the biggest brands in the world. So another brand, I'll just bring up Apple one more time. They did their Think Different campaign, which appealed specifically to creatives, people who are pioneers, people who are changing the status quo, people who they weren't in the pocket, so to speak. So they're tech savvy, they're innovative, and they're professionals who are some of the greats, Albert Einstein, and just really, really creative people. And then they built products that serve that clientele. So the iMac, which I'm on right now, this is an iMac camera, the iPhone, these are all things that allow creative people to execute on a vision. And another Steve Jobs quote, he said, people don't know what they want until you show it to them. So Apple understood its audience's latent desires, their desires that they didn't know they had until someone showed it to them. And that's why we have these amazing inventions. Not everything that they've created is successful, but as a company, they were the first $1 trillion company, which shows that the process works. Knowing who your audience is critical. And by the way, I made this mistake for the longest time, just not knowing who I wanted to serve. And so I would self-sabotage. I would There was a while that I wanted to do music, and I love making music, but I don't love all the people. I know that sounds weird, but I don't want to work at concert places, and the the crowd was kind of weird, and I really preferred to be in environments where I just got so excited to serve those kind of people. So that's why I'm here with the Speaker Salon. There's another branding guru named David Ogilvy, and he founded the Ogilvy Advertising Agency. So he's considered one of the greats in terms of branding. And he said, the consumer is not a moron. She is your wife. You insult her intelligence if you assume that a mere slogan and a few vapid adjectives will persuade her to buy anything. So what this means is you need to have deeper consumer insight. You have to treat your audience with respect and intelligence. And that's what I'm saying is your customer avatar needs to be someone that you actually understand. So if you start from a place of like, this is the kind of person who I love them so much. This profile of human being is so near and dear to my heart that I can listen to them all day. I can listen to them complain. I can listen to them get angry. I can listen to them I care about them so much that I can even take the bad side of them, and I want to I desire in my heart to relieve them from their suffering. Then that's the person that you need to serve. And you need to do it with respect for who they are, what their preferences are, and just for their intelligence. Another big branding expert that I think is worth following is Seth Godin. Seth said, you don't find customers for your products, you find products for your customers. So this means, again, who do you love so much that you can find products to serve them? And as technology develops and people innovate, the products will change. They always do. But the core of your brand is who do you want to hang out with all day, and how do you serve them? Okay. Practical steps to identifying your audience. So you can do market research. You can do surveys, interviews. You can do analytics, Google Analytics. I go to Twitter. So if you go, well, it's called X now. So if you go to X Pro, yes, you have to pay for it, but you get what used to be called the tweet deck. And the tweet deck allows you to type in custom words and search for all the profiles and accounts of people who are talking about those things. And as people share online, you can develop a relationship with them that can be just one way, like you can just observe what they put out there, but also social media makes people so accessible. So if you find your, ideal customer online and they have their direct messages open, you can actually engage in a conversation with people who fit that profile. If it deals with children, you might want to be careful there. Like onboard the moms first and have a safe environment. But in general, people like sharing their opinions, so you can just engage in conversations with them through social media. So you're going to want to develop the persona of your ideal customer. Ask them questions. What do they care about? What do they fear? What keeps them up at night? What frustrates them? Observe them as they're interacting with different products that are comparable to what you're considering putting out there. If you are someone who hosts a retreat, you're thinking about hosting a retreat, go to other retreats and see how people interact and engage, like step into it, put your body into the problem and have conversations with people experiencing the problem, and you'll develop a much deeper insights as to who you're serving and what they're struggling with. And you got to do this all the time. You need feedback constantly. It's not like something you can just do and then forget about it, because situations change, politics change. You can't rest. You don't get a break. Sorry, you got to always be doing this. And then the consequences of ignoring your audience's understanding can be really big. So again, if you don't understand your audience and their needs, you can go bankrupt. You can just waste years of your life by getting that wrong. So just go ahead and do your due diligence and really think deep about who you want to serve, and then study them like you would get to know a romantic partner. Just like Ogilvy said, just study them with great interest. And this is the foundation of all branding activities. It really is. I don't care what color palette you come up with. I don't care what typography you think is cool. Everything hinges on who your customer is. So with that, why don't you start thinking about who you're serving, and then go look at those people and study them, and what symbols do they care about? How do they dress? What media platforms do they consume for their news? Do they even consume news? What are they most concerned about? And then the more you engage with customers, the clearer things become, and the easier it is to determine what you should be doing. That's a quote from John Russell, who is the former vice president of Harley Davidson. Okay. I'm going to stop there. If you want to read my book, Beauty First Method, you can go to speaker.salon and download it for free. You're welcome. And I am so excited for you in your branding journey.